Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
Hour number 2 of the program begins right now. Great Danny Clinkscale has entered the room with his array of jewelry.
Yeah,
tennis ball green yachting shirt.
It is. It's a favorite shirt of mine, but I only wear it when my wife's not going to see it very often during the course of the day or evening.
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't like it.
Wow.
I like it. It's comfortable, but it's yellow. It's quite yellow.
It's very yellow.
Yeah, it's tennis ball yellow.
I have matching shorts also, so it matches the stripe in the shirt.
So you're still shopping at the Garanimals?
Yeah, it's a good Garanimals outfit.
All
yeah.
Right. Good to know. Danny Clinkscale always brought to you, as you heard right there, by our friends at Easton Roofing. Joe Spiker and his great team. A lot of hail damage, a lot of wind damage this summer. Very soon it's going to be getting chilly and cold. And you'll have water freezing up top. If you've got problems with that roof, you may not be seeing it now, but you'll feel it later. If you need an inspection, they're always free. Estimates are free as well with Easton Roofing. Whether it's your home or your business, Easton Roofing has you covered. No payment collected until you're 100% satisfied. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. Dan, what do you think of the Hollywood Brown news?
Well, it's not outstanding news, but I think anybody who watched the Chiefs...
So you're against it? We can firmly put you down as...
Yeah, I'm not in favor of somebody missing the year.
Okay.
It's not.
Awesome.
That's not good.
Thanks.
But I think anybody who watched the Chiefs play offensive football in the first game shouldn't exactly be in a panic. They looked plenty dangerous. Would he have made them more dangerous? Of course. But the guy has a history of injuries. This isn't exactly shocking. And it's too bad. It's too bad for him. But I think the Chiefs... That was just another added element to an offense that I think is going to be really good. And I think they have a speed element added from last year. They're improved from last year. He would have improved it more, but it's not good news, but I don't think there's anything, oh, my God, Hollywood Brown's not going to play. The guy's never played for the Chiefs.
How are they going to live without a guy who's never played for them?
Oh, no, Hollywood Brown isn't on the team. Well, he wasn't before. Now was he? He doesn't have any rings. So.
It's funny.
It's somewhat. I think I feel more bad for him than the Chiefs, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment.
I mean, it would have been cool to see another toy for Andy Reid to play with, but they've added a speed element to the team. We saw it last week. And in some regards, there's only so many passes to be caught. So I don't think this is really that bad of news.
Well, I think it's if Xavier Worthy goes down.
Sure. Yes.
You've lost your best speed weapons, right? 2 of them. That's where it really starts to compound itself, and that's where you wonder, okay, if he would go down, we're going to be like, well, why'd you draft this is what we'll hear. Why'd you draft a 165-pound wide receiver and a guy who's always hurt and sign a guy who's always hurt? That's what we'll hear. I think the reason you did, you liked both. You thought, well, signing one's not going to be good enough because there is an injury risk here, so let's get both of them. You'd like to have not lost him this early in the year.
And also, receivers are wildly expensive, and he wasn't.
Right.
And he wasn't, in part, because of this. So they'll move along. Hollywood Brown may just be a footnote in Chiefs history. Old number 5 may never trot on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs.
What do you think? Do you think this offense, off what you've seen last time, do you think it is going to be a top 5 offense again? Do you think it's going to be top 3, number 1?
I think they have a chance to be the best from what I saw. As usual, as we talked about last week, they somehow find a way to make games compelling, but they looked like hell on wheels to me. And Now, at least they're defined. They're not sitting around looking, well, gee, in a couple of weeks we're going to have Hollywood Brown. Let's think about that. They know they won't now, so in that certainty, I guess, is cool. But I think they'll be fine. I do think they have a chance to be one of the, if not the best offense.
I think I agree. I felt like coming in, I hate to see him lose Hollywood Brown, but I still think all the elements are there to go be special.
And I do have some concerns that Xavier Worthy in the long term can be a player who gets on the field, but maybe he's just one of these guys who ends up being so fast he never gets hit hard, which is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Lamar Jackson's injuries generally haven't been because he has taken physical hits in the open field. So he's tough to handle. It looked like he would have scored a touchdown in a flag football game on that reverse.
So then do you like the Chiefs on Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I think we'll get an improved version of the Bengals, but I don't think it'll be improved enough. They don't like the Chiefs. I think they'll come with motivation. I have some concerns about whether Joe Burrow is really ever going to be healthy again. Now, whether it's just a tick or whatever, you watch him on the sidelines, he's always fiddling with his hand.
He said, I always do that. When you dad, you kind of, if you've come off an injury, you're always kind of flexing.
And that may be,
I always do. I'm like, I've never seen him do that.
That may
before.
be true. I mean, well, he hadn't been coming off an injury before. So, and maybe for a while he was loosening it up. Maybe now it's better and it's just a habit. But I think it's still concerning. So I'm thinking 30-16, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it should be comfortable, but I don't know why I say that, because damned if they don't have us there in the fourth quarter going, what?
Yeah.
What? This is a game? You kidding me?
Well, I think the one thing, and we touched on this last week about the Ravens, I think Andy Reid might have to, go for some fourth downs, because the Bengals will. They've done it before. I mean, I said this, I think I said it last week, that when has Andy Reid been his absolute worst at the mic? It wasn't when he was 1-5, right? Like in his second year here. Which, by the way, remember that in his second year, he was 1-5 and barreling towards. It was like, that was.
And the 1-5 start was his third year. Was
third
15.
year, but 1-5.
Third year, that's right.
Yeah.
His third year, he was 1-5, coming off a year when he didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right, and had finished 2-3 the year before and blown the second biggest playoff lead ever. Like in 1-5, like there was people were really talking like the Chiefs blew it with Andy Reid. He was washed up and cooked in Philadelphia, and why are you doing this? And he still, I remember him standing at the podium like, listen, I'm not going to tell you I know exactly what this is like because I've never been here. I've never been 1-5, but we'll get it fixed, right? And there was confidence.
Well, the saving grace, and also
January.
The saving grace for him right then and there was the fact that was right, because I remember sitting in baseball press boxes when the Chiefs are losing these games.
Yeah.
It was right in the midst of when the Royals were at their very best, so it wasn't garnering as much attention as if they started 1-5 this year.
Right. And so, but my point is, when he looked his worst, was trying to answer the questions about whether or not he was thinking about letting Cincinnati score when Zach Taylor burned the whole clock on him and won the game on a field goal. And he just yammered on with gibberish that made no sense. And then he had to, because we had to come back the next day and be like, okay, just want to be clear. You did, or yeah. Yes, you did. Like, he was doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've never seen a guy that was more, I've never seen him any other time, whereas like he was without, he oftentimes makes noise and says words, but that add up to very little. Like he's great at the coach speak, right?
There's a reason we called it that on our show.
But he does that with confidence. That's not what we heard that day. So I do think the one thing about this Bengals team is, I agree the Chiefs are better, but I think the Bengals get under his skin. I think the Bengals don't march to the script that he wants to put out there. And I think that can be a problem.
And it would be good business for them to go out and... Well, the other thing that's important about this game, first of all, they've beaten the Bengals since. The games have been competitive, however. But the other part of this game is what we saw in the first game was that it looks like this might be a early Mahomes shootout team where the defense isn't very good. I'm hoping we don't see the Bengals. Oh, look at the Bengals are so much better this week. Guess it was just a rough opener for the Bengals. Look at them going up and down the field. And then that would set the table for the Chiefs being a, lopsided football team with a great offense and a not-so-good defense. I think they'll be better than they showed last week, but that was the first week of the 2024 season, not the 2023 defense. So that's the important part to me. And if they go out and they win 30-16 and they give up 16 points and 305 yards or something, then I'm going to feel a whole lot better about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do like everything points to the Chiefs winning and winning easy. It just
line is just not moving. 5.5.
5.5.
Been there since
Where's
3
the money?
o'clock on. Let me see. It's been there since 3 o'clock. Let me see. I'll check here.
Yeah, check that and tell me when you see
Well,
it.
I think that there is history out there that these teams play close games.
Right.
And it's the same coach and it's the same quarterback. And coach and quarterbacks, both teams. And maybe there's something about, their coach that he's got things devised, and I don't know. It doesn't, the Chiefs should have a lot of games that aren't to be contested in the fourth quarter this year. That's what I think. To me, they're that good. But maybe against the Bengals, where the Bengals have a loss on their slate already, and it'll be an angry football team. We'll see. And as I said, maybe this 2024 defense isn't going to be up to snuff, at least early on.
Chiefs minus 250, Bengals plus 205.
No, the percentage of the tickets.
I'm looking at. I have that coming up here too. I wasn't quite sure. I'm seeing 78% tickets, 77% of the money
On
the Chiefs.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured.
So, I mean, like there isn't a great difference of the two, but
but all
77% of the money
and the
is on the
tickets
Chiefs.
are going on the Chiefs.
Yes.
So
more than three
that
quarters.
to me
means
it looks pretty obvious to everybody that this is a Chiefs game, and that seems too easy to me. But I don't have the scenario of, well, how do the Bengals do it? I mean, they looked terrible last week. Well, one, you can't overreact to just one game. We think they're one of the better teams. The scenario is Trey Hendricks, puts a clown suit on the rookie over on that side. The scenario is Jamar Chase, they square him off against the third corner because they don't travel with McDuffie, and he has a day.
And I think another thing is what we saw with the Ravens.
And Joe Burrow's completely healthy and slings it all over the field.
And they run the football, and they control the clock, and they run more plays than the Chiefs.
And
the Ravens did all that.
The Chiefs punt on 4th and 2. The Bengals go for it, maintaining drives. I mean, that's the scenario. That's kind of been what it's been before. I think it'll look like the other Bengals games. Because I do think that Zach Taylor closes the gap.
Yeah, I think he's probably an undervalued coach. He's got kind of a circus there, and I think he controls it. I think he does a pretty good job. I don't think you can really do anything. You say, well, if he's the coach, he should have a handle on things. I mean, Jamar Chase is who he is. You just have to put up with the prima donna wide receivers in the NFL. I think they actually grow up looking at other guys, and they're their guys, and they're like, I'm a wide receiver. I get to do whatever I want.
Well,
it's not just Chase. The circus goes up to the ownership at that franchise.
that's the thing. And I talked to Mo Egger today. You'll hear it on the Central Bank pregame show on Sunday. But I was like, well, what do we have here? Like, first of all, I don't think you should be negotiating with a guy in 3 years in that was a first-round pick. He's got 2 more years left on his deal. Yes, you can talk after 3, but that's because most deals are only 4 years. The first-rounders have the built-in 5th year if you want it, and so to me, they shouldn't even be talking to him until next year. So in some ways, I don't understand what Mike Brown's doing, especially when he's been a cheap ass his whole life, and now suddenly he wants to be the first guy out there to pay him. And I talked to Mo. I said, listen, is this a case where probably should have cut this part out and put it in there. I didn't know we were going to get Chase's contract here today, but I said, is this a case where he's not discussing it? It seems like they had negotiations, so they entertained the idea like, we're willing to do this, then they didn't get it done. And it's like, well, to your point, Danny, about it being a circus, once you start like